We're making our 2010 Halloween costume. It's great to have you two part of the team. It's really great.
We're happy to
Because
be
I
here.
don't
You're
know
always
how.
so alone.
I was spending years developing these Halloween costumes, and it was always a lone effort. It was always like, it was me, my creative juices, my own sense of. But it's a very lonely endeavor to sit here, to sit there. I mean, the Yeti costume, I literally was for 40 hours just gluing hot glue gun mop, cut mop, glue gun, glue to the jumpsuit. It was just took forever. And now with, adding you to the Halloween costume team really has distributed the labor, which is really important. But it's also increased the level of quality with each of your respective experience in your different fields. This is not really a Halloween costume, it's more like a production. It's like a Halloween installation, much more rooted in deep Freudian psychological subconscious imagery that it's really going to be terrifying, as you can see from our completed insect. Where was I? What was I saying? Okay. Generally, the Halloween costumes that we do fully immersive. I don't put on a costume. I become the costume. Japanese culture is very much contributing. Has a deep understanding of the mask and how the mask connects us to more universal principles. It takes us out of our individuality, of our ego-driven sense of identity, and it frees us from ourselves to allow us to connect to a greater understanding of the world, a deeper understanding of, simply put, infinity, the expansiveness of the world. When we release ourselves from our ego, we're able to connect on a universal plane. So that's what I like to do during Halloween, is I like to eliminate the ego. I like to disconnect myself from my personality, from my surroundings, from my relationships even, and connect on to imagery, using imagery, but connecting to as portraying a greater character. Very in several tribal societies, of course, there's a sense of the gods or deities living amongst the tribe, and often it's several members of that community wearing costumes that represent these different deities. And of course, if you're interviewing the different tribal members, they would not recognize their neighbors or their family members as being these deities. They are actually transformed by the costume into the deity. And that is the approach I take when I'm engaged in this type of theater, is that I'm transforming myself from James Bell, project manager, or whatever, ex-artist, into, a giant spider, or the Yeti, the abominable snowman. These are the things, these are, in our American culture, these represent the mysterious elements of nature. And it's a way for us to transform and reconnect them. It's not about the candy. It's really not. It's not really about consumerism. It's not about the collection. It's about connecting to the terror, the frightening world and magical world of our true natural surroundings, of our existence.